For example, the Dare Act, right? Love Dare. But at the same time, there was no educational push within, school systems or within actual like Bahamian owned companies and communities to say like, hey, you guys can actually accept crypto now. Like a lot of Bahamian businesses actually don't know that they can accept crypto per the Dare Act. They don't know that, so that's a headache. That's a headache in itself.
Earlier, we had a conversation about what is the reason why adoption is halted here in the
Mm-hmm.
Bahamas. Why do you think that adoption is taking so long for us in the Bahamas?
Right? So this is where now crypto news get up. You'll be in like the hardest podcast ever. Oh, y'all could be in some headache and y'all could be like, but we ain't never bring this back on the show. But hey, let's do it. Let's do it. So I think that the biggest reason why adoption is having so much problems is it's a cultural matter. Like me and Nelson talked about this, and it goes back to culture, right? If we look at what our administration does when it comes to builds, they create builds that appease foreigners. And they don't take these builds and say, okay, like let's try to make this something that could actually help the masses. For example, the Dare Act, right? Love Dare. But at the same time, there was no educational push within, school systems or within actual like Bahamian owned companies and communities to say like, hey, you guys can actually accept crypto now. Like a lot of Bahamian businesses actually don't know that they can accept crypto per the Dare Act. They don't know that, so that's a headache. That's a headache in itself. If I compare this to another case, right? Medical tourism. We have a bill that actually like requires these alternative therapies like red light therapy clinics and stem cell clinics and all that to register with the government. That makes sense because that's how you prove legitimacy and everything. That makes sense, especially with medical tourism. You're playing with someone's life now. But
Mm.
we as a nation are unhealthy. Like Dr. Dwayne Science say, you're fat. I fought too, but you fought. We don't represent the things that we actually try to sell on a global scale.
Yeah.
We don't as a nation. And I think that there's a huge gap there that needs to be solved. When I look at El Salvador came out a few years ago saying that Bitcoin is now legal tender. And when they said that, they meant that. They make sure everyone around the street had access to Bitcoin. How would they do that? Wi-Fi all around the place in El Salvador. If you got Wi-Fi, you got access to an exchange. If you got access to an exchange, you got access to Bitcoin. Very simple. So now the farmers who work down the road from the volcano and all of that, and who working on the border between Honduras and Guatemala and all of that, all of them can be paid. Because the problem that they had was like only a third of their actual population had bank accounts. But now almost 80% of their population had access to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
When you look at that, that's similar to the Bahamas.
Are you subscribed yet? For more videos like this, you could follow the Crypto News Podcast on YouTube, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe.